With the UMi Max, UMi have announced a light version of the UMi Super recently. The handset is priced at just $165 and thus one of the cheapest devices with a Mediatek Helio P10 processor. We took a closer look at this handset and used it as our daily driver for a week. I am Christopher from China Mobile Mac. Enjoy the review. Let's start with the packaging, which looks totally identical to the one the UMi Touch came in. Inside the black box, next to the phone of course, we find a small envelope containing the user manual and the SIM needle. On the envelope, we find a UMi Super logo, which kinda underlines that both phones are related to each other. Besides of that, there also is a USB Type-C cable and a 1 ampere power supply. Design-wise, we've got mixed feelings. On one hand, the UMi Max looks beautiful and is sturdy as hell since UMi use a unibody metal design here. But the problem is the weight of 203 grams, which on the other hand makes the phone appear huge along the thickness of 10 millimeters. Those are quite extreme numbers for a phone with 5.5-inch screen and 4000 mAh battery. In addition, there are a few flaws in the craftsmanship of the phone. Those plastic caps and antenna lines aren't even with the metal on some areas, and the hardware buttons are so loose that you can hear them rattle even when you shake the UMi Max just slightly. What we like again is that the camera doesn't stick out of the body, which prevents the glass from getting scratches. Also, the fingerprint scanner is embedded quite deep inside the body, which makes it easier to hit properly. An amazing eye-catcher is the Halo home button on the front, which you used to find on Meizu devices a lot back in the good old days. The button is invisible when the phone is turned off. When you turn it on, it starts pulsating in white and the color changes if something happens on your phone. The screen of the UMi Max did impress us. It comes with a 5.5-inch Full HD LTPS panel made by Sharp, which offers very nice color reproduction, high contrast and great black levels. The screen really is a lot of fun to use on a daily basis and easily keeps up with high-end devices. Brightness is high too, so don't worry about that sunlight. Even the touchscreen is very good. It supports up to 5 touch points at once and the digitizer reacts fast and precise, which makes it easy to type fast on the on-screen keyboard. In addition, the glass surface is extremely smooth and fingerprints don't find hold in it too much. It is also fairly scratch-proof, so the Gorilla Glass 3 claim doesn't seem to be a lie. To ensure a proper speed for your apps, the UMi Max packs a Mediatek Helio P10 processor, but it uses the slower version clocked at 1.8 GHz aka MT6755M. You don't notice the difference most of the time though, it's just games where you might see a little more lag compared to the 2 GHz version. Anyway, all of that isn't dramatic in any way. Current games run flawless, just those with high-end graphics have to be set down to mid-graphic settings in order to avoid skipped frames. A smooth multitasking experience is ensured by 3 GB of RAM, which is enough to run between 10 to 15 apps in the background depending on their memory needs. For your personal data, there is 16 GB of internal memory, which isn't that much, but it can be expanded using microSD cards, at least if you can live without dual SIM. What we love is how speedy the memory is. Both the RAM and the data memory are faster than the average memory you find on Chinese mid-range phones. A positive surprise to us was how many sensors are packed inside the UMi Max. Next to the very basics, we find an e-compass, a gyroscope and a step counter. All of these sensors work like a charm, which of course isn't the norm on the cheaper Chinese phones, especially when talking about gyroscopes and magnetic field sensors. Even the fingerprint scanner is really good. It offers a decent speed and unlocks the phone reliably. It doesn't have issues with wet or oily fingers, and for about 90%, one touch is enough to unlock the UMi Max. The operating system on the UMi Max is Android 6.0 Marshmallow, which comes in a very clean variant that is close to stock Android. There is no pre-installed bloatware, which we like. Anyway, there are 2 significant bugs which have annoyed us while using the phone. For example, app icons sometimes disappear from the home screen, and not only that, they disappear from the app drawer and the app list in the settings as well. Only by opening the Google Play Store you can relocate the app, open it, and afterwards it will be visible on all places again. Another bug is a sudden increase of CPU load that occurs from time to time, no matter if you use the phone or if it is in standby. The result of it is increased heat and battery use. Some positive things are some features that have been added by UMi to the settings of the phone. There is a control center for the Halo home button in which you can change the colors for specific events. Also, you can configure the shortcut button located on the left side with any app you want. Pressing the button will open the app. Unfortunately, it can't be used as a shutter button for the camera. The on-screen buttons can be configured as well. You can change between the on-screen buttons or the touch buttons below the screen. Alternatively, you can use both of them. Another neat feature is a power saving center, which allows you to create power saving profiles. Those can be set to be activated at specific times or events. Also, there's a task killer which automatically closes the background apps. If you don't want specific apps to be closed, simply whitelist them. Something we miss is support for off-screen gestures like double tap to wake. Let's continue with reception quality. First of all, the mobile network reception is pretty good. The signal strength is on a high level and there's support for the LTE band 20. Anyway, there are significant problems and those start with Wi-Fi. One floor below the Wi-Fi router, the bandwidth drop was quite significant, while other devices didn't have any issues on the very same spot. So the Wi-Fi antenna appears to be not good at all. Also, the GPS has issues. The signal strength is so weak that you cannot navigate within cities or forest areas without the waypoint jumping around. We definitely had higher expectations here. For audio quality, the datasheet lists quite some stuff. There is a dedicated DAC and a NXP Smart PA amplifier, which are supposed to boost headphone audio. And yes, we can confirm the difference compared to a SoC-only solution. Especially volume and basses benefit from that. The internal meter speaker, however, is disappointing. It sounds flat, but at least it doesn't suffer from distortions on full volume. The telephony quality is very good, a noise-cancelling microphone is present. Moving on to camera, we haven't anything exciting to tell. There is a 13 megapixel Panasonic sensor on the rear, which unfortunately was a huge disappointment. It's impossible to get sharp pictures from the camera. There always is an unsharp spot in any pictures. The reason for this likely are bad lenses. In addition, the camera has huge issues with direct light. In such situations you get only a blurred, overexposed mess, but no nice picture. Now, if UMi can fix or improve some of those issues with updates will have to be seen. The front camera is okay for selfies without huge demands on quality, but in the end isn't a good one as well. The last thing to talk about is the battery. 4000 mAh is what UMi claims to offer with the Max. From previous UMi phones, we are used to batteries with quite a large range. The real capacity according to our measurements is somewhere in between 3700 to 3800 mAh, which equals the average the batteries advertised with 4000 mAh by UMi have in reality. The battery life basically would be very good, but right now it isn't, or sometimes it is, but not always. The problem is the aforementioned CPU load bug. Depending on how often such CPU load spikes happen and how long they last, it can become impossible to get through a day with just one charge. If this bug wouldn't exist, one day or even more would be possible without any issues. When charging, the UMi Max takes quite some time to get the battery fully loaded. Anyway, the reason for this ain't the phone, it's the 1 amp charger. If you use a faster 2 amp charger, charging is of course faster. But guess what? The UMi Max does also support Pump Express Plus fast charging, so get yourself a PE Plus charger and there you go, you can charge the phone within 1 hour and 20 minutes. Charging from 20% to 70% is even quicker at about 40 minutes. Conclusion: what the UMi Max delivers is typical for Chinese phones. Basically, it would be a really good phone for the money, but the few flaws it has destroy it. The most significant ones are the bad GPS and the bad camera. But also the software bugs are annoying. Now, if something will change about that is something that time will tell, so let's hope for the best. So that's all from our side. If there are any questions left, please drop a comment. More information and the link to the shop can be found in the video description. If you like what we are doing here at CMM, please support us with a visit at chinamobilemag.de or our English site chinadevices.net and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching, bye bye, over and out.